Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am thrilled to bring this video to you. This is my long awaited time that I said for the last year or two that I was going to create my own planner pages in InDesign, and that is what I have done. So if you're new here, thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe if you feel compelled to. This is our living and planning simple abundance channel. I combine my obsession, I should say, or hobby with planners, along with Sarah Ban Breathnach's book, Simple Abundance, that you can find on my channel, is a whole year-long journey that we did in 2020. And in subsequent years, I have shared other authors and themes and things similar to her principles of joy, harmony, beauty, order, simplicity, and gratitude. So without further ado, let me get into what I did. And I have a kitty in the background saying hello. So as you may remember, back when I did my last video with the plan with me for May, I knew that my planner pages were only going up to a certain day in May. So it was important for me to do the end of May, and then I went ahead and did all of June. Now I also have July and August designed, but I have not yet printed them because I wanted to work with this setup for at least a few weeks to decide, and I've already made some mental notes of things that I want to change, so I didn't want to print an entire year at a time. So I still have the things in here from May that are my original ones. And then, sorry, I'm going to be grabbing some things from the sides here. So these are the new ones that I made. So look at, that's from Agendio, and this is my version. So I counted up the number of lines, and there's about 5 or 6 more lines. It's just kind of the way it worked out. But I wanted to have fully lined instead of like here there was no line. And again, if you're just joining me and you don't know this, I did design my planner prior with a Canadian company called Agendio, and they only allow you to do so much in terms of customization. Like for instance here, I can put in my own design the month that we're in, versus like there you have to have every month has to be the same, so there can't be a personalization for each month. So I didn't need to rewrite the May monthly personal and home and business and work task lists because I had already had them written. But that's the difference on those pages. And then you'll remember this is my weekly sheet that I was always complaining in Agendio that I could not personalize as much as I wanted to. So this is the one from Agendio where you could only have like this set up with 3 columns and 3 things on the top, and I always wanted there to be more sections. So I made all of my sections here: errands, groceries, to get, order, coupons, gift certificates, and anything that's like long-term pending. This is still the end of May, so I still have the hummingbirds in there. And I know this is going to say plan with me for June, and I will get into June. Here's my weekly task list. It's similar to, again, the Agendio one, but I did do a different color for each month. And also I decided to make a little box that says home caring here, where I write things like that I try to do at home every week instead of having them on the regular task list up at the top. So, you know, things like dishes, vacuuming, litter boxes, laundry, things like that. So I have those separately in a shaded box. And one of the things I want to change already is I made bullets here, but I want to make them little open circles so that when I'm checking off, it's more of like a little check mark. Okay, so then here, again, we're still in May, but I'll show you the difference between a page from Agendio. So I kind of fashioned my pages after Agendio in some respects, except I wanted for there to be a section for like home caring, and actually in my new version for July, I've also put an errands box as well, because those are things I kind of want to just keep separate from the task list. And then I always was wishing that there was a box that had a spot for notes. So I've done that on each side. So here's the other one, and the other thing was they had square boxes. I just made my own little things with like dotted lines. Like their lines were a bit more defined, and I didn't feel like I was ever using this, previous and then future month. So I didn't do that. I was able to I did do the same thing with I liked the circles. So I did that, and I can customize my own fonts. It's a kitty. And actually, that's another thing with Agendio. Once you decide on one font, it's like that font for everything. But for my own design, I can make all of my fonts different. And like I said, I made a different color for each month. So that's the one change that I have. I would say I don't have as many lines as there were, but because I have that home carrying box in the notes, but it's okay. It's been enough, That was today, and I had enough room. So I'll just go through. Wednesday and Thursdays are the same as Mondays and Tuesdays in terms of their setup. But then on Friday, this is what I like, because instead of having a note box on Friday, I did my TGIF exercise, which is trusting, grateful, inspired, and fun. And you can find me talking about that in other videos on my channel. So that's one thing that I made different on Fridays. So instead of having notes there. And then I changed the way that the weekends are set up. So let me get a weekend page from Agendio. So you have a few choices on Agendio in terms of how you want your week set up, but I had to choose, Saturday and Sunday, and I've shared with you guys that Sundays are always my Sunday Sabbath. So I don't really need a to-do list on a Sunday. So, even though I was writing stuff, I set it up this way so that I just have a block for Saturday and a block for Sunday, and then I just called it a weekend list. And then I have another thing of notes, which is bigger here, and then I have a box that I added for self-care. So those are different. This is my weekly musings, which this is one, though this is the Agendio version, which is just kind of black and white basically. But I added like bubbles, and I will say that I kept most of my questions the same, but I did add in, how did you handle annoyances or stress that came up this week? And in addition to how did you sleep, I wrote, what was your body saying? And I talked about this in another video about how I want to start listening more to what my body is saying. And I also added, is there anything that could have gone better this week? Because I didn't have that in there before. So those are my weekly musings. I still kept Sarah's principles up here. And if I wanted to, I suppose I could have even customized it with the particular week that it was, but I didn't go that far. This is the next week, so we're still in May. I still have, this is this next week coming up. So I still have the hummingbirds for May. Again, another weekly task list. This is Memorial Day coming up, and I had started to write tasks down, and then I was like, wait a minute, I'm going to take the day off. So I blocked all the tasks that I'd written with a big sticker. And you can see I'm still having all the same fun with all of my stickers with my new setup. And then here's something that I did for myself, for my own business. And remember my little otter sticker, guys? So I have these tabs for each week, right? And it always opens to like this week and the weekly task list. But I find myself, especially like this week where I'm going into the last week of the month, I need to find this page that I created, which is my changeover page, where the work that I do, I'm changing things from a current month to the next month for my clients. So I was able to create a whole sheet with a lot of the things that I track on a monthly basis, and I wanted to be able to find it quickly, so I did put the little otter there. Hopefully you can see that. And if I wanted to, I was thinking about this, instead of handwriting the things that I did on here, I could actually type them up ahead of time. I have codes for various clients. But for now, this is how I have it. I was kind of thinking I might make a backside to this, because So this is another nice thing about customizing your own planner versus having to do it through Agendio. With Agendio, every single month is the same. You can't put like a special page. Like I chose to put this on the last day of the month, like, opposite that page. But you can't do that kind of thing in Agendio. So I did end up making it work out so there was the exact number of pages that I wanted. But I was kind of thinking that in some cases I might want to have a backside for notes and other things that I track. The monthly reflections, I don't think I grabbed an example from Agendio, but you'll remember that they were a lot like the weekly musings, which were very sort of black and white and boring with notes, or with lines, I guess. So I made, again, similar bubbles. Same questions that I've been asking myself, and you can go back and look at other videos about what those questions are. But again, I made it color-coded. And what I did, too, I forgot to say this, but on the changeover page that I made it the new color of the next month. So even though it's not typically, like there's the monthly reflections after that, I still like gave a hint of the next thing. All right, so here's my June spread. I've already done all the decorating on it with my stickers, and I was thinking like it's very busy. Well, I guess it's like I normally do because there's May, but I had a lot of fun with with the colors. And then you will also remember that I used to make a regular decorated summer bucket list, and I have not done that for the past couple of summers. But in my Happy Planner stickers, I had actually a pad, one of the seasonal pads that had a bunch of different things for like a summer bucket list. So I used some of those stickers up the side here. Oh, and I also forgot to say too that I decided when I went to get my Agendio, because these are from Agendio, I decided to go ahead and get the tabs from Agendio because I like how it has the month there, and I didn't want to spend the time designing the whole year in months like this. So I did buy those, but I decided to just, you can see it's actually just black and white this time. Like here's an example of May where I was, in the past, I was choosing a color for the month, but it really only is the color there and in the days of the week, and then like in the blocks. And then I had also had a box up there. So because I did the black and white, I actually did not have the choice to have a box here. So this is a sticker. This is a background sticker that I cut. And I always write a little Simple Abundance passage there. And so this time this month we rediscovered that it is freedom and summer love that are life's riches. That is partially adapted from Simple Abundance, but also Carolyn-esque. So again, I had fun with stickers. I've got the Bachelorette is starting. I only have Bachelor Monday stickers right now. I have to see if that lady in Etsy shop will make me some Bachelorette ones, but I did put Bachelor Monday, first day of summer. Father's Day is coming up. Taxes are due. Couple birthdays in the family. Graduation. A weekend off that I'm going to take. So that's June. So this is the same setup as, oops, I meant to grab the task list for the months. So see how I did May and then I did June. And I did a blue color, like I mentioned that I made that changeover day in a hint of the newest color. I have not totally gotten June entirely set up, so like I haven't done my enrichment pages yet. This is looking very similar to Agendio. I just ended up, it was again similar to this setup for the weekly musings. So I just made the color of the lines, the color of the month. I have Life Enrichment and Sarah's Principles up there. So then these are some things I was tossing around, and in the new version for July and August, I've already been kind of tweaking it a bit. So you remember my page from Agendio that was this one, Goals in Progress. So there was, again, because I could only do what Agendio allowed me to do, it was just starting, ending, and comments. And so I've said before that with my goals, I am actually, it's more like a habit thing for me. So I have a focus and an activity. I have an intention and a benchmark, which I suppose would be the goal for that time period. And then I have the results. So I got rid of comments, but I did actually, there's a box here that I did put for overall comments. And I've called it goals, progress, and priorities because, again, my goal setting is probably not like other people's goal settings. And then I did make this meal planning idea sheet too. We'll see how it works. I might tweak that. And I was also thinking what I might do is add another page, maybe keep this one the same, and then on the next page have an actual habit tracker for a few of the things that are here as my focuses and track them. But I have to say I am pretty good at, once I set my mind to something, I typically do it, so I don't really have to track it on a regular basis. Because of the way the month ended up and the number of pages and how I wanted it to work with my header dashboard, I just made a brain dump sheet there, which I did have in my Agendio planner too. So this is my fun little divider for June. So then we get into June and it's the same setup right now, but like I said, for July and August, I've already tweaked it a little bit. I always use these blocks on the days that, I don't know, it just adds fun to it. I have a trip, that's that weekend I'm taking off. Another weekly musings, but this time with the blue theme. Oh, and yeah, my tabs this month are so cool. I should put the Etsy shop that I get my tabs from, but they're mermaids and beach stuffs, and I love mermaids. So this is how I'll show you the difference between. So there's the pink one for May, and there's the sort of purpley blue one for June. So I can decide what tabs I want to use out of my collection because I have so many tabs now, and decide which color I want to make the month for various things like the banners here. Again, I've been just having fun with, I put little things up on the tops and bottoms too. Still using a lot of my custom stickers that I had done in Etsy as well. And sometimes, I've mentioned before, sometimes I'll have like a theme in the whole spread, or I'll have like this page is flowers, this page is birds, whatever I feel like doing. I feel like it's just sort of like my creative work of art that I have fun with when I'm doing it. And like I had this sticker, and then I also thought, oh, I know I have some zoo animals too. So I found that other flamingo. Another weekly musings. There's like the mermaid scales on that one. So sometimes I just am going through my sticker pads and I just find something fun. It doesn't really have anything to do with this doggy or anything else here, but it's just something fun and pretty. I like this page with the good vibes. Love more. Be brave. And here's another Friday with the trusting, grateful, inspired, and fun. And just like with the May planner pages where I had the pink, I did it with the blue here. I wonder how the colors are really translating on the video here. Another week. Look at that one. All those mermaids there. I haven't, like I said, I haven't gone through and done like every single task for the weeks yet, but I was putting in my stickers. And then in some cases I still have some other blocks to add here for details, but some of it is up in the air with the changes at my part-time job. My schedule still hasn't fully changed yet, so that's kind of up in the air, so I'm leaving it flexible for now. Another weekly musing spread. we've got to be getting to probably the last week again. Oh yeah, because I see another otter coming up for the next changeover. Look at that one with the starfish. I like that. I like that. Life is Wild. And I found like a matching sticker that went with that, and like that one matches. Oh, and when I talk briefly about Sarah's Joyful Simplicities, June is the strawberry moon, and so I try to put strawberries around too. In fact, I know I put a few in the, yeah, I know I did. Well, at least one anyway. Lots of beach themes here with the sandcastles and flip-flops, flip-flops, summer mood. And I did a unicorn, like a magic page for that one. So then here's that July changeover page, which I haven't yet written on, which I won't need to until I'm in June. But I've got my little otters so that I can get to it. And then my monthly reflections. And then one other thing I'll say is I don't have the old ones, but I remember saying to you guys, oh, what am I going to do when I don't buy a Franklin Covey planner that has all of the future months on one page? Well, I decided to go ahead and buy the Franklin Covey tabs like this, where the whole month is on a page. And one thing that I really like about it, because before it was like June would be here, July would be here, but now because I bought the tabs, first of all, I like the tabs, and secondly, it has a thing where you can put personal and business tasks down, so I like that for planning ahead. And it's really good for me to have these things ahead of time because, you know, there's, like, I just saw a dentist appointment, you know, like in September, so when you're at the doctor and you can like pull up the thing, then you have this, and then when you go to do your planning, then you have this and maybe anything special that you have to write. And of course I still have a listing of everything that happens on every week and everything that happens on every month. So as I'm making the weekly task lists and the monthly task lists, I'm using, you know, like a sheet that I've gone through, and like I know that there are certain things that happen every month, so that way I'm not trying to remember every month. So I was looking briefly at the Joyful Simplicities for June, and this is the time of year where, if you remember from 2020, I did a live fairy tea party, which you can find on YouTube, because Sarah encouraged us to have a midsummer's party, which is typically on June 23rd is my memory of it, like the June 23rd, June 24th time frame. Of course, a lot of things are about the senses, because in the book in April and May, she's talked a lot about the senses already. And then she's leading up to July, which is about freedom, but she talks a lot about freedom in June because that's when school gets out, and so you start to feel like your schedule's freed up and things like that. So she has things like, you know, make lemonade and bring it out on the patio, and so these are like just little sweet things that you can do to sort of enjoy the season. Make ice cream and or eat it. You don't have to make it, you can eat it. Eat a watermelon. You know, hang a hammock and sit out there, take a trip down memory lane by catching lightning bugs or fireflies. Celebrate the solstice too, which is on June 21st. Longest day of the year, right? No, that's the one in December. Shortest day of the year, but it feels like the days are longer though in the summer when it's lighter out at night. And she talks about some things in the garden. Creating a secret garden. If you can't do things outside, she talks about doing them inside. So it's a lot of things that are summer related, of course, with June, and also freedom related. So maybe for you, your Joyful Simplicities might be walking in the sand with no shoes on, or even just barefoot in your yard. With the grass between your toes and things like that. So those are the kinds of things to be thinking about when you're putting together your own enrichment pages. And this is the time of year when you can also see shows outside sometimes, like bands playing on the bandstands and things like that. So I hope that if wherever you live, that the summertime is a nice time of year to enjoy. And hopefully you've enjoyed what I've done with my planner pages. I've sure had fun with them. And again, I'm going to be tweaking them a bit for the next months or so when I decide that I don't like something or I want to add something in. But it's so nice, speaking of freedom, for me to be able to have the freedom to just do whatever I want instead of feeling like I have to only have the words that Agendio was allowing or only have the setup with the grids a certain way. So it's really exciting for me and very fulfilling, and it touches my creative spark. And so hopefully you got something out of this and you are looking forward to June as well. And thank you for watching. As always, I really appreciate all your support and comments. I love hearing from you. So I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much. Love to you all.